What's up, guys? It's Will Henry Outdoors channel, and today I'm going to be telling you my story. Most of you know that I cannot play sports anymore. I've suffered from too many brain injuries from just doing stupid things. You guys remember when I broke both my wrists? Yes, I got surgery on my hand and my forearm because I broke it too many times. I'm supposed to have my cast on, but currently it is like 4:30 in the morning. After my last brain injury, I suffer from insomnia, which, if you guys don't know what insomnia is, it has trouble with you sleeping, and I cannot sleep. I took NyQuil, and I have Trazodone, and no, it is not an addictive antidepressant. It just helps me fall asleep, but I am out of that currently, so I've been staying up probably closer to when my dad goes to work, which is probably about 6 in the morning, and then I'll go to bed at 8 in the morning, and I'll wake up at 3:30 when my friends get out of school. So my dad will be getting up in about 30 minutes, so this video will be over. But he's asleep, and guys, I am a proud uncle. My sister had her baby yesterday when I was sleeping, of course. But my dad woke me up, and she was like, "Hello, Uncle Will," and I was like, "Yeah." I was excited when I found out that I was gonna be an uncle. But anyways, other than that, my mouth is dry. So yeah, my sister had a baby. His name is Bentley. So you already know that me and his dad are about to raise him a redneck. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Where do I start? Okay. Well, I've been fishing ever since I was little. My grandpa and my dad would always take me fishing. That's about it. I've always fished, no matter what. Except I will only catfish and bluegill fish. I never fish with a lure. As you can see, I hung up my rods last night. Yeah, I hung up my rods. That's it. Nothing special about that. That's about it. And then, so ever since when I was getting older, I got more and more into fishing. And then I found, I think, the first YouTubers I watched was the Googan Squad, the full Googan Squad, and One Rod, One Reel, and Blacktip H. Those are the first people I ever watched. And I started watching them on my Uncle Brian's computer when I was probably, I don't know, 9, 10, I don't know. Me and my brother would just sit back there when we got bored and type in fishing videos or vlogs or something that's just funny, because, I don't know, when we weren't doing something we got bored, and instead of bickering and fighting all the time, we just did something with each other. I mean, yeah, me and him still bicker and fight. What do you expect? We're brothers. That's what brothers do. This is where I got my splint. You guys don't need to see that. You call my doctor, but that's my scar from the surgery. They drilled my growth plate right here on this scar. You could see it separates right there. And I have a plate because they took off 6 millimeters of my bone, which you guys probably, it's not a lot, it's 1/4 of an inch, but the change from it, like, just knowing that there's a plate in there, it's just a mental thing, but it just feels weird and doesn't feel right. But when I was a kid, I keep on going off topic, damn. When I was a kid, I just went more and more into fishing, and then eventually me and my friends would go out and sneak into ponds and go bass fishing. Yeah, we got caught a lot. Does it matter? No, because it made me who I am today, and I'm happy that I did those. I gotta drink my sweet tea. So I ventured more and more into bass fishing. Yeah, most of my friends didn't start bass fishing until I did, which, I mean, we did everything together. We started doing everything we do. We started going into fishing, hunting, everything you want to say, we did together. That's how friends are. And when I got hurt on the freshman football team, everybody was saying I was faking it, but how could I be faking it? Like, I've had too many brain injuries, and I walked into my football coach was the football high school head coach was the principal, and he brought me into his office, and he told me, Will, I know how many brain injuries you have suffered, and as a parent, I will not let you go back out onto the football field. I mean, yeah, that hit me pretty hard because I put 7 years into football basically for nothing. I wouldn't say that because it's taught me a lot. It brought me to new friendships. Um, but I wouldn't say that it was a great thing that I got hurt. But at the same time, I am glad I did because it could have been a lot worse. Because I was a running back and a linebacker. I mean, I'm not a small guy. Like, yeah, I'm short, but I got broad shoulders, and that's why. And I'm pretty fast. I mean, I think my 100-meter dash was like 12.4 seconds, I think. I don't know how good that is where you're from, but that was freaking good from where I come from in a small town of Paxton, Illinois. So when I ventured into bass fishing, I watched these videos, but they wouldn't put out tutorials or anything, so I went out to the lake and I just tied on a Senko. I didn't learn how to use a Senko until I was like a year and a half into fishing. That's the easiest bait I would use. I was more into jig fishing, spinnerbait fishing, and crankbait fishing, because literally with a jig you cast it out there and you give it a dangle. Spinnerbaits, you cast it out there and you reel it in. Same thing with chatterbaits, but sometimes I use chatterbaits as like fast moving jigs. I'd cast it under a dock and I'd let it sit, and then I'd, like a jerkbait kind of thing. But crankbaits, if you knew how to use them right, you catch fish on them all day if it was the right conditions. But I've ventured more and more into fishing, and I'm glad I did that because now that I can't play football, I fish. And I do not go to PBL anymore. I do online school, and now I was a freshman in high school, and now I am a sophomore. And I will be graduating when I am 16, and yes, I am 15 right now. So, and my birthday is in November, and it is January 9th now. And so, yeah, I'll be graduating 2 years ahead of my class if I actually do my work and put my time into it, which I will because I am dedicated to graduate. Everybody, when I got my injury, would make fun of me or behind my back. I don't really have that many friends. I have maybe 5 or 6 friends from Paxton, and you guys have seen them. Wyatt, you've seen recently my video. Me and Wyatt hung out yesterday with David. You guys know David. He busted his crap in my old house on my bed in one of my videos. Chase, you guys do not know Chase, but me and him would fish over the summertime when I stopped making my YouTube videos. I wish I would have, because we found some bomb spots and we'd go fishing for 36 hours at a time. We'd stay the night at ponds. We'd do everything. And he taught me, like, he didn't give a shit about what anybody thought about him because it's Chase. He's just one of the cool guys that everybody thought was cool at the school because, I could be a rapper. Everybody thought he was cool at the school. Yeah. But, and one of the only reasons that I am glad is because that a month later after school started, he got into golf and I was in football, so we never had time to hang out. And right when I got injured, and he was the first one to ask me, hey, dude, you alright? And that's when I stopped going to school. I was a few weeks behind because I couldn't focus with my brain injury. It made me lose some memory, which I do have a small case of short-term memory loss where I do not remember anything. And one of the only reasons I ever started my YouTube channel is because my Uncle Brian. I remember the first time I told him about it, and he watched my first video, and in the background you can hear Tom Mintz's monster truck, because that creek that we'd fish at was right next to his house. And then one time he came over, and he has a pond in his backyard, and I skipped my baseball game because of this. He said, hey, I don't know you guys that much, but you guys seem like pretty nice kids. Would you mind if you came and fished my pond? I think it'd be a little bit better than fishing in that creek. And me and David were kind of like in shock. We're like, oh my gosh, we're talking to a freaking Monster Jam legend here. And I was just like, yeah, I would do that. Like, I don't care about baseball. If it came to meeting, going, I mean, like, yeah, I've talked to him, but I never, like, he has a big house. And he was just out practicing mowing his yard when me and David were sitting there catching fish. Like, there's not one small fish in that pond. Maybe a hand-sized bluegill, for example. But my Uncle Brian was like, you guys weren't even freaking phased when that. He thought it was like an old hot rod because he's a car fanatic. He was a car fanatic. He owned a old 1967 Chevy Chevelle, and his buddy has that, and he's fixing it up. And I want to buy it from him because it was my Uncle Brian's, and that flat rod that's hanging up in the back, that was my Uncle Brian's, and he kind of just gave me a boost of energy. He wasn't always there, but in the back of my mind, if I needed anything, I could text him, and he would try his best to get me through it. He was a big part of my life, and I will definitely miss him because me and him were always really close, all the time. He was the only person that I would actually go to besides my mom when I was a kid. My mom, every time she left work, I would be crying, I'd be bickering, I'd be yelling, and then my Uncle Brian would come out of the room because he had diabetes. He couldn't be on his own, so he lived with my grandparents his whole life. But every time somebody would yell at me, he'd be like, Bubba, get your blanket, we're going to bed. Me and him would always go lay down and go to bed. And he kind of just taught me, be humble, and just, if you're going to talk, make sure you can back it up, and try to be friends with your enemies. I didn't know what he meant by that when I was a kid, but now that I'm getting older, I can see what he means, because the more that people are mean to you, the nicer you are to them, the more they will feel the loss of a friend than you will. And I understand everything by that, but just a thought in my brain, at the same time, yeah, I'm still going to be worried about where I am in 5 years. Like, what happens if the internet crashes? I won't be able to do school. I'd have to go back to public school. Then I'd be made fun of because apparently I didn't do my work. Like, everybody thinks that at my old school, they think I'm just no good. They think I lied about everything. Like, you know. So, my Uncle Brian, yeah, he did make a big impact on my life. There are a lot of people that made a big impact on my life, but he made one of the biggest. Because every time he heard somebody crying, he'd be sitting there, what the hell are you crying for? Yeah, I would miss that. If I were crying and he would say that at me, I'd just start laughing. I would laugh. I'm not even lying. But yeah, I have a computer at my mom's, and I'm at my dad's right now, if you can't tell. Because you know what my mom's house looks, well, not my house, my room looks like. I have a bench press table in there. You guys seen it in a couple of my videos. I don't know. I just was sitting in bed because I woke up at, 3:30, and I thought it was daytime. So I get up, and the house is all dark, and I'm like, shit. It's about 3:30 in the morning. And I got so mad because I was hoping to get a full night's sleep tonight, but I didn't. So I watched YouTube, and I was like, why not make a video about my story? So he'll definitely be a little missed. A little, I mean a lot. Because he was one of the biggest impacts of my life. And some people may not see that, and some people will, but what can I say? Life happens, and life sucks. Because I played 7 years of football. That's a whole 7 years of my life that I could have been doing something else without getting injured and without hurting myself while doing it. I've sustained multiple concussions from football, broken hands, broken wrists, broken fingers, twisted ankles, torn up knees. Sometimes my knees will just give out when I'm walking. If I'm walking a lot, my knees will give out. If when I was in school, simple writing, because of my hand when it was broken, I didn't go to the hospital because I didn't care. I still wanted to play football. I would still be writing and my hand would cramp up so bad. It just hurt all over. I couldn't do anything, and I had to sit in class and try to write with my left hand. Um, Everything I did is for a purpose, and I'm still gonna stick with that. Like, yeah, I have haters. Yeah, I have everything. Everything that a real person goes through, they all have people that try to bring them down, and most of those people are just jealous of what you have. Yeah, I'm not saying all the people that are jealous. No, all the people that make fun of me are not all jealous. Sometimes they are just dicks because is how people are. They think they can walk all over you. In school, nobody would mess with me because I had a temper, and if some of my friends knew not to mess with me at the certain times, because if you were to mess with me at the wrong time, you were getting a fist. There's a couple times where I had to hold back, and I'm not saying like, yeah, I'm a bad motherfucker. I walk through the school and people move out the way from me. No, I'm not saying that. It's just like 1-to-1, nobody would talk crap about me. Like, yeah, if they were talking crap behind my back, I wouldn't give a shit. Like, what are they gonna do? Exactly, they're not gonna do anything. So I wouldn't care if people talk crap about me. But if it was to my face, certainly, yeah, I'm gonna care. Because if somebody walked up to you and started talking to your crap about you and your family to your face, that's way different than it is behind your back. Yeah, talk crap about me behind my back. I don't care. And my friends really cared for me. Like, they wouldn't really mess around. Yeah, they're my friends. They would mess around with me. They'd screw around with me. That's what friends do. But the other people that I could tell that they weren't my friends, they would always like. I'm not saying that they would be really mean to me, but sometimes they would use me for what I had. Like, you guys know my old friend Seth. I've given him a lot. I was his support, and he threw me on the side of the road and said, "I don't need you anymore. You're trash." That's what he told. That's basically what he told me. He didn't tell me those words, but after, I don't know, just because when I got hurt, he didn't have anybody on the football team, so he started being mean with everybody that he didn't like, and now he's friends with everybody that me and him did not like. And that's why I only have a certain amount of friends from that school, because every single one of the football players, besides my friends, my real true friends, talk crap about me because they don't care about anybody but themselves. I'm gonna edit this video and I'm gonna try to get back to bed, which won't happen. I'll end up falling asleep at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'll wake up when my friends get out of school. And that is my half of my story. And leave a like and a comment, and please hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because I'm going to start uploading a lot more than I normally do, because you guys know I do not like to edit, I do not like to upload. And guys, I will see you on the next one. You guys have a great day, no matter what day you guys are watching this. I'll see you later. Peace.